What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Koppai Podcast, episode 80. Our big episode 80 celebration here on Black Friday when we're recording. I just got some Black Friday deals. You guys are going to be listening to this on Cyber Monday. So hopefully, if I can get it up, if I can get things published and edited in time. I'm joined in person by Mr. Koppai himself, Zak. Gobble, 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 gobble.
Yeah, turned into a turkey. I ate so much.
Yeah, man, I ate more pie than turkey. I only had like 2 pieces of turkey.
I'm excited to eat more pie.
Yeah.
I think we're out of turkey now because I ate so much of it yesterday.
Yeah.
But
honestly, turkey is, I think, the bottom tier of Thanksgiving food.
I love turkey. Like turkey is, I could have turkey every day, I think. And I get like turkey sandwiches all the time.
I can do like the deli sliced turkey, but like when it comes to like...
Well, I think that the turkey, like Thanksgiving turkey, is so much better than like the sliced turkey because the sliced turkey is almost like getting ham or something. When you get like the actual turkey with the texture, the flavors, and the gravy, the potatoes, and all the other things mixed with it.
I would say
it's so good.
I would say Thanksgiving tier.
I'm not even a stuffing person.
I would say Thanksgiving tier is stuffing at the top, and then you get like mashed potatoes is number 2, and then you got your cornbread, your rolls, and then way at the bottom is just normal old turkey. It's like the only thing that makes turkey good, and I saw this on Twitter from someone, is the gravy. That's the only thing that pulls it together. Otherwise, bottom trash tier. don't comment on it.
Yeah,
just leave it at that.
In the comments below. Sound off.
But no, today's episode of Koppai is kind of a special one, obviously because we're filming in person. It's the first episode we've recorded in person since... I don't even know the exact number.
Yeah,
it probably was like a Patreon special when we had our Patreon page. And so, so it's kind of a big deal. And the other kind of big announcement is that we're starting to transition with episode 80 onwards into kind of a more all-inclusive, all-gaming discussion. You may have seen it with our Fractured Butthole review, our Skyrim VR review. We're kind of trying to new things, and those videos are getting, and those episodes are getting lots of views, and people are kind of appreciating, I think, the new direction to talk about games everywhere instead of just Nintendo.
Much wider scope.
Everything. And so this episode is going to serve as our Game of the Year, Game Award nominees, kind of 2017 retrospective episode as we look back on 2017 of all games, and it's also going to be kind of our end of the year episode because of that. And then we won't have any new episodes for the next 2 months because we're going to be going through finals in college. I'm going to be graduating, but also we're going to be kind of rebranding, repackaging the way we do Koppai to be all-inclusive for all games and a new look moving forward in 2018 with episode 81, which will be cool. It'll be 2018 H1. So we'll have that, and we got a new logo that we're kind of toying around with. You may see that be published with this episode, or you'll see the kind of rebranding happen in the next few months as we get that going. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that, and if you're really bummed that we're not doing exclusively Nintendo anymore, please understand that we're going to be doing tons of Nintendo still. Like when Fire Emblem comes out, I've been playing tons of the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Obviously, Odyssey got its whole dedicated episode even after we kind of decided to do this shift over. It just allows us to talk about Skyrim VR because we want to talk about Skyrim VR.
Yeah, well, if you're talking about gaming, it's, Nintendo is so woven into the fabric of everything that is gaming, especially now with the Switch dominating and all that, so...
Yeah, there's no way we can avoid it, and, I mean, we'll keep the name Koppai, which has Nintendo roots. Like, it's always going to be a part of our roots, and so... But yeah, so the Game Awards are happening December 7th, I think. Like at 7 p.m., 7th at 7.
Horrible time.
And, yeah, it's
graduation and everything.
Yeah, I graduate the next morning, and so family's going to be traveling, but I think you're staying with us in our new place, and so... I'm hoping just to have it, I guess it's just going to be probably archived on YouTube, and I'm just going to avoid social media that night, probably working on my final projects.
Right, it'll be pretty easy to avoid. And
then you can come over and we can watch it together. We just can't be a part of that initial reaction. But we're going to be going through the nominees, kind of giving our input on it, who we think we voted for or will win, all sorts of discussion on it. Starting off with the kind of bottom tier awards and working our way up to the big Game of the Year.
Yeah.
And so without further ado, the first category is Best Chinese Game.
What?
Starting off with that.
I don't even think I voted for this category.
I don't think I did either.
There's a few categories that because I tried to give my, best thought into it, consider it, and there were a few ones that I was like, oh, will it come back to this, or... it was like I just have no.
If I didn't
way.
play any of the games, I probably didn't vote for it.
Right.
Like I think there's one like best indie, and I didn't play any of them. But no, Monument Valley 2, like JX3,
I think I
Gambella.
may have voted. I think I didn't, but I was like.
Monument Valley
2. I've heard of that game or something, and I was like, I assume that's probably pretty cool, but I just don't know.
Frank Underwood plays it on House of Cards. It's like a pretty pivotal moment in season 3. He it's like, have you ever heard of this video game? Monument.
That reminds me about how he was playing like the PSP or the Vita or something.
Is that a PlayStation
cool.
Vita?
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, why?
Yeah, such a bummer.
You ruined Sony. That's why the Vita's dead. You touched it, and it just was destroyed. So, next up, the best debut indie game presented by Shikai Drew. And so, it's weird, there's 2 categories. One's like best indie, and then this is best debut indie. I'm assuming best debut indie means like this is the first in an indie series. So like, you won't get, gosh, I don't even know of an example of like an indie sequel. Like maybe
Steam World Dig 2
or something like that. So these are all the first in their lines. We have Slime Rancher, never played of it. Mr. Shifty, which we've dabbled in.
I beat that game.
Oh, you did? You beat it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Hollow Knight, which I hear great things about. Golf Story, and then Cuphead, which had my vote.
Yeah.
Cuphead's
I definitely
phenomenal.
Voted Cuphead. I think that game just overall like bringing back the nostalgia of old timey cartoons, old SNES era games and Genesis era. Just the whole atmosphere, the boss run, the challenge of it, everything about it was perfect.
Yeah, and even they were on podcast Unfiltered with IGN's kind of best and brightest in the video game industry interview show, and it's made by 2 brothers, and they were on the show talking about apparently like their cousin did the art design, their other cousin did the music.
That's awesome.
Apparently, what's the name? I lost it here. It's like MDHR or something is their company name. Where is it? Studio MDHR, and their last name is like Moldenhauer or something. So that's what MDHR stands for, and it's literally just like their family company name. Like they just did it all together.
And I have a lot of respect that they, whatever, I just lost my train of thought there. I have a lot of respect for those guys.
A lot of the most respect. Yeah, and I mean, the art.
No, they took their time with it.
Yeah.
Maybe good. It was announced like way back in the time. That's what I was thinking of. Because with Mr. Shifty, I know those developers, like some of the ports of that game, were like Rush. I know when it came out on Switch initially, it was like the frame rate was terrible and everything, but Cuphead, they took their time, almost like Breath of the Wild, I felt, to make a quality title.
Yeah, it's interesting in their interview with Ryan McCaffrey, they were saying, a lot of people thought that they presented the first E3 and got lots of funding for it and praise, and a lot of people thought that they went into hiding with it because of criticism that it was just a boss fight game. And the reason actually they went and took more time on it is because they got so much praise that they were like, oh crap, we have to add in we have to add in more if we want to do this right. Like it wasn't even so much of a we need to shoehorn this like platforming aspect in. It was more so like they had so much extra money from the attention it got that they were like, we can do more with this, so let's take our time with it. Like they weren't rushed at all. And they also did say in that interview it is exclusively 100% Xbox console exclusive. Like it's not even in the talks anymore to bring it anywhere else. It's like it is living and dying there. And
that's a bummer.
Yeah, and they said like, but don't worry, there's definitely Cuphead in the future. We don't know if Cuphead's the next thing, and then that will probably be on many things. But yeah, it is very good that it's on PC. I don't imagine you'd have to have a really strong PC to run it. So if you're kind of avoiding having an Xbox, if you're just sticking with PlayStation.
Wasn't it like there's that Rain something that has been in production for the Switch? It's this like app that this guy's been developing to stream PC games to your Switch, and they demonstrated Cuphead running on it. Yeah. And that just seemed like at least maybe one day in the future we'll have something to stream our PC games to the Switch. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, next up is, and this is another category as we kind of go through these beginning ones, best esports team. It's like Team Liquid, Telecom, Lunatic, FaZe, Cloud9. I recognize Team Liquid from Ken, King of Smash, and Liquid DJ. and then or was it DJ KDJ or Korean DJ from Smash? Mm-hmm. He's on Liquid now, and then Cloud9 is Mango from Smash.
Right.
FaZe, I've seen actually a few of their streams. There's some Destiny players I think on Team FaZe, so I recognize some of the names, but I didn't vote because I didn't know.
I think
I didn't know the ethics of the teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with best esports player. I was looking through to see if I could find like Mango or something from Smash, but didn't recognize any of them, so didn't vote for that. But shout out to the esports players presented by Omen by HP. It would be cool. I want to get into the esports scene, especially with Destiny 2. I play so much. And I'm very good at Destiny 2 competitive play, especially on PC. I'm getting like top tier stuff all the time.
I wanted to get back into Smash, honestly. I watched a little bit of Mewtwo King's analysis of this match between Armada and Wizrobe or something, and it was just like, oh man, I missed that. Getting into that atmosphere.
What we need, if we want to be competitive live streaming Koppai fighting team, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, we need to be on PC playing that, streaming that. That'd be epic.
What a, detriment it has been to the Smash community, I think, to not have it be out on Switch, like, really soon. Like, as soon as possible. They went with Splatoon 2 and satisfied that community by giving it to them. The Mario Kart 8 community's got their game, but where Smash is like arguably their biggest like esports game, and they want Splatoon to do it, and they wanted ARMS maybe to take off, and that really hasn't. But it's like, where's our Smash? Give us our Smash. I need it on the Switch now.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Smash Sports, esports, the best esports game of 2017, Rocket League, League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and Overwatch. And I think I gave my vote to Rocket League simply because Overwatch has got its awards. Counter-Strike Go is or CSGO is super old at this point, and while maybe the best competitive game of the year, it's like, come on now. And then Dota and League of Legends, I was more of a Heroes of the Storm guy, so I haven't played those MOBAs. But Rocket League, just as far as like, especially coming out on Switch, and just the fact that it's like such a unique competitive game of just playing soccer with rocket-powered cars, is just the craziest thing. And so I think I gave it my vote to that, but probably second place for me would be Overwatch.
I think I gave it to Overwatch because I got into it. I think it was more of a last year's kind of like, it took over last year, but I didn't really get into it until this year more.
With PC, we got on it.
And I just think it's the design of that game is so well done.
Yeah.
I often think, I want to get back into that and keep playing it some more.
I loved
which I do still with Rocket League, but I'd say maybe more so with Overwatch. I see more of the community seems to be like really thriving, and like diverse things you can do with it. Like,
it's crazy
shooting and
it's crazy with Destiny 2. Destiny 2's community right now is pretty ticked at the game just because I think most of the complaints are kind of like, all right, if you play 200 hours a week, there's nothing left to do in the game. I've played Destiny 2 on PC for 40 hours and on PlayStation 4 for 70 hours, and I have on PlayStation 4 17% of the gear sets, and on PC I have 25% of the gear. And so it's just like, I have so much more to get and gather and hunt down and play, plus Crucible is always never ending. But all that being said, whenever someone references like how you do a shooter or even loot boxes when talking about Star Wars Battlefront, Overwatch is just king. How they nail the cosmetics, the style, the costumes, the limited time stuff, but other things that are more fair. Like I still want to get that costume for, I think I played, her name's Farah or something was what it was.
Huh.
And she was always really fun. She has like a Thunderbird outfit that I've always wanted to get. But yeah, no, I don't think you can go wrong with Rocket League or Overwatch. They're both just awesome competitive games. But yeah. Moving right along, Trending Gamer of the Year for 2017. We have Steven Spawn from Able Gamers, Mike Grizitz from Shroud, Dr. Disrespect, Clint Lexa from Half Coordinated, and then our good old What's Good Games, Andrea Renee, who wins my vote by a long shot.
I give it to Dr. Disrespect.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't listen to him or watch him at all.
I just watched him on the H3 podcast. Go check it out. It's really awesome and funny, and yeah, he's
that's interesting. I thought you'd be Andrea Renee too, because I listened.
Yeah, it was a debate. It was a toss-up between them. She would have won by default, kind of like it did for you. But I just watched him, and it was really hilarious.
I think it'll be between those two for sure. From what I've heard, people love Dr. Disrespect, and when I see on Twitter people saying retweeting or liking tweets of cast your vote today, Obviously I get lots of Andrea Renee because of the Kind of Funny community, but I do see lots for Dr. Disrespect, and she's just rocked it on the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show, and like, we always talked about how like Greg and Colin, when they had their kind of banter, it was always like only PlayStation, and like the PC games were for nerds and Nintendo was for babies and stuff, like, and they were always joking that up, but they also would never talk about PC gaming or Nintendo gaming, and Andrea Renee is like, she knows everything about Destiny, she knows everything about like PUBG, and Danny O'Dwyer was awesome at PUBG, and like always has like good conversation to build up that show. But.
Right, and I'd say that she wins probably in terms of like journalism and like being an actual commentator. Dr. Disrespect is more of like an entertainer character.
Yeah.
It comes with like this whole like 80s like macho man.
Well, even I don't know if you can see his picture here, but it's just perfect.
Yeah.
And so, excited to see who wins there. That's kind of a fun award. I think last year was it Boogie that won, and then the year before that was Greg Miller.
Right.
So, because he always adds Trending Gamer 2015 whenever he like identifies himself.
Yeah.
Looks at the camera. And then the next one, I don't get this one, Best Student Game. So I think they had a few students of game design that are able to submit their awards. So shout out to them. I don't recognize any of the games. I think they're just kind of more. Probably can go. They have YouTube links if you want to go check them out on their website. If you go watch the trailers.
It's like that Zinoko when we had him on the show. I think one of that Code 7 game was made in one of those kind of like
student program, like make it in a week sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Shout out to Zinoko, by the way, and shout out to Hive Jump. Best indie or independent game. So you have Pyre, which I saw 4K footage of this game the other day, and it was just gorgeous. It was like, my goodness, I've heard of the game being awesome, but I'd never seen it in gameplay. Night in the Woods, which I've heard rumblings about but hasn't heard praise of. Cuphead, What Remains of Edith Finch, and then Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. And then once again, I gave this to Cuphead because it's Cuphead.
Cuphead
nails every aspect of it, but I hear What Remains of Edith Finch is like a Game of the Year contender for those people that, are like super artsy and want to throw.
And that's not the one that I recall like Colin doing a Let's Play of for a little bit, was it? Like
that was,
super
I think,
early beta?
That was like, I think everybody got into the Rapture or something.
Yeah,
or maybe,
I think you're right.
Yeah, so there's that. It basically, when in doubt, if there was an opportunity to vote for Cuphead, I voted for Cuphead.
Yeah. It's one of those games I kind of want to see sweep, and like really.
Just like Cuphead.
Yeah.
Or like when the two brothers go up on stage, Cuphead also wins Best Music, Best Art Style, Best Game Direction, Best Indie, Best Debut Indie, and they're just going up, high-fiving everyone. It's just an awesome time. Moving right along, Most Anticipated Game presented by McCafe, which what is it? Jeff Keighley out there. He's making the connections. He's calling up McDonald's and he's like, I have a game awards show. Does the McCafe want to sponsor the best, most anticipated video game? I'm like, yeah, sure, man, whatever. Most anticipated game, which people were criticizing this award because it's like, what are you even praising here? Is it just the trailer? Is it the fact that it's the idea of it? Like, it's kind of a silly award, but it's also fun. So The Last of Us Part 2 by Naughty Dog, Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter World, Marvel's Spider-Man, and then God of War, which, by the way...
Those are all good.
Last of Us Part 2, I don't know if Monster Hunter World is, Marvel's Spider-Man, and God of War, so most of the nominees are all PlayStation console exclusives. So.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I think Monster Hunter World, if it's not an exclusive, I know it has Aloy from Horizon in it, and like exclusive content to PlayStation. And Red Dead Redemption 2 has a marketing deal with PlayStation.
Yeah,
so
I think I gave this one to Red Dead. I can't entirely recall because I was torn between Last of Us 2 and Red Dead.
Yeah, but Last of Us 2 got mine.
But Red Dead, I just know like with how I started playing Red Dead to try to get through it before this new one comes out, because I had never experienced it before. I finally opened it. I owned it for like 3 years, and then just got distracted with school again and stuff, and it's playing it on the PS3 is a little like kind of a nuisance. But I just remember when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, how insane that game was. And it's still insane. It's still one of the most demanding, like, gorgeous games.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about it
is also one of the... But I just think of how, like, the open world scope, how I love the Wild West kind of atmosphere and all that. I'm excited to go and find out what they do. Rockstar, when they go next level and next gen, is always something super special. And I feel like maybe with Uncharted 4, we've kind of already seen Naughty Dog, what they do with this new era of tech. But I'm just excited always, like, where Rockstar goes and kind of the signs of what Grand Theft Auto 6 might be.
Or even, like, I mean, honestly, the Red Dead Redemption story trailer didn't woo me as much as I would have wanted it to.
Right.
And so I'm just kind of waiting. Like, it probably would have won my award if they would have shown what the online's going to be. And if the online is that you can make your own outlaw, your own cowboy, have your horse and just go across the entire Wild West, but it's like Grand Theft Auto Online in this Western atmosphere, which it probably will be. Like, that would make it my most anticipated game. And I also kind of just want to know when the release date is.
And I kind of had the same thought about like the Last of Us Part 2 trailer that they just put out, that I wasn't really super impressed by it. I thought it was, what I really complimented it on, I think, talking to you, was just the sense of weight they gave the characters, because I noticed that in a lot of games these days, sometimes it feels like they just don't get the animations right of people and the feeling of there's actually like mass inside of their bodies, and I feel like Naughty Dog does a really good job of that.
Right, because of the motion capture, they do that extensively.
So I was really impressed by that, but overall it was just like kind of dark and fuzzy and like just a random, like, you didn't really follow what was entirely going on, and I'm just like, what, this doesn't showcase the game that great. I feel like maybe Red Dead did a little bit better of that, although Last of Us has had a couple trailers now. The first one they ever showed was way better than
with Ellie playing the guitar. That I think was also just shocking because it was at the PlayStation Experience PSX. It was like just no one was expecting Last of Us Part 2 to show up there, or just even show up at all. It wasn't at the time we were even expecting to see it. And even the picture here that the Game Awards has to preview it is Ellie playing the guitar, and I think just The Last of Us is an incredible game, and
I am also a little concerned. Like, I'd say I have faith that Red Dead's going to be amazing, and I have faith, I guess, too, that Last of Us 2 is going to be amazing at the same time. But I also wonder how I'm going to be able to get back into that whole. It's like. I don't know. I always have concerns about it. I had concerns about Stranger Things too, about them doing it again. We just finished that recently, but I thought they did it. Like, I was like...
You finished the season?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You never mentioned talking about any
of the episodes. It was absolutely incredible.
Episode 7 was crap. Like, the entire episode.
Everybody kept saying that was, like, really controversial. Like, before we saw it. So I'm like, here we go. It's the controversial one.
Probably. I wish I would have known that going in. I probably could have... because it took me like 3 days to watch that episode. I'm like, oh, shoot me in the face. But and the thing is so far everything Neil Druckmann has said about The Last of Us Part 2 in every interview has just been spot on, like with expectations and the way they're exploring story and stuff. So I have high hopes for it, but it is also like, it's one of those games that you wouldn't need a sequel at all. And I think that was what made me so hyped about the trailer we just saw, that it didn't have Joel and Ellie in it, because it's just like, maybe that's how they're gonna handle the sequels. Not even so much, another tacked on story to Joel and Ellie, like the continued adventures of Joel and Ellie, but it's gonna be more like, all right, we've heard Joel and Ellie's story, and they're still gonna be like the prominent players, but let's focus on different characters and stuff, which gets me excited. Best multiplayer game: Fortnite, Call of Duty World War II, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Destiny 2, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I think I gave my vote to Destiny 2 because I'm just such a Destiny fanboy. But I think you gave yours to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which I would, even when it kind of in hindsight, I'm like, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is like, as far as multiplayer goes, because I usually play Destiny 2 by myself.
It's just been such a revolution, I think, for the whole, like, now there's all these clones coming out that are trying to do the same.
Well, I mean, even Fortnite, like, the reason I would say Fortnite's kind of the people saying the best multiplayer, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of reason it got kind of back into the news was because they had that Battle Royale mode. Yeah. Which exposed the real game to everyone, but I think the Battle Royale mode was kind of like, ooh, cool.
And supposedly PUBG is now kind of getting into that phase of like, oh, yeah, that was cool like 2 weeks ago, but now it's like, oh, the hackers are everywhere, and it's like, oh, we're not going to play it, and you go prone, and it all comes down to whoever moves first is the one that gets kind of shot, and then, it's like, there's all these complaints now, and optimization, and different things that they haven't improved yet. So I do think, like, there's a lot of things that could be improved about it, but the way that it came into this year, it made such an impact, and I think it just revolutionized like the online arena in a way that kind of moves it forward after games I felt like Daisy and those sorts of things, where it was a little bit more like open world survival, and this was more. Ark, I think, tried to try it. We played a little bit of like the Survival Evolved or whatever it was called, where it was like an arena. It was very much like Hunger Games, where you got down and you kind of had to like build a shelter. And I think there was like
dinosaurs too, though, right?
Yeah. And so it's not like PUBG was the first one to try this concept. I don't want to say like they came up with it and they're kind of trying to act like that in certain ways. It seems like, but. I just do think that they came out and became the ones that got noticed.
Well, I was just at GameStop getting my little Black Friday deal. Shout out to GameStop for my Black Friday. Yeah. And they had on the TV Phil Spencer from Xbox. And they were talking about PUBG coming to Xbox, and Phil he's just so happy to be playing games, And he's like, that's what I love about video games is he's like Matthew McConaughey all of a sudden, but he was like, that's what I love about video games is you can 2016 you would have thought the next big thing in 2017 would be the next big hero shooter, because of Overwatch. And then all of a sudden PUBG comes out of nowhere and it's like, no, actually people love Battle Royale, and it's just like, like what'll 2018 have, I'm hoping for the big VR game, like everyone's like game of the year. How cool would it be if in 2018 the game of the year is a VR game? But we just never know, and so PUBG kind of came in and just rocks multiplayer. The one thing I will say about Destiny 2 in defense is PUBG is kind of like a, not a one-trick pony, because of the mass arena, there's so much things that can happen, but it is always the same map. And it is always kind of the same strategy of, okay, go get your armor, and then you just hide for a half hour, wait for the blue circle to go in. Yeah. The raid in Destiny 2 and the strikes and the boss design and the gear hunt and the loot and the different guns and the exotics and the art style for all of them. Yeah. Like, that's why I get so annoyed with the Destiny community that they're complaining about the game. It's like, do you even stop to think about how much is in this game? Like, it's pretty crazy the universe they've built there, and I definitely cannot give it to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's like there's no way. Like I'm giving it to Mario Kart 8 in 2017.
I know, yeah.
And then Splatoon 2 is awesome, but there's too much with that online infrastructure to hate. And I haven't played Call of Duty or Fortnite, but so those are the best multiplayer games.
Well, when you think of games, you have to consider with these categories, like, who carried, like, the year? Mm-hmm. Like, who do you think of when you think of the multiplayer game of the year?
It probably would be PUBG.
And so that's what I kind of considered.
Yeah. Best sport and racing game, we have Project Cars 2, which is interesting that they've categorized both these, sports and racing, because then you have Pro Evolution Soccer, NBA 2K18, GT Sport, Forza Motorsport 7, and then FIFA 18. I gave my vote to Forza Motorsport 7 simply because I couldn't give my vote to Forza Horizon 3, which had their Hot Wheels DLC this year. And that, if you're looking for the best racing game of the year, Forza Horizon 3, Hot Wheels DLC, it's like cunning stunts and transform races and Mario Kart all thrown into one. You're doing loop-de-loops, it's hyper-realistic graphics, 4K, it's awesome. But
I think I did vote for that. I think I was looking at it, and I think Kayla actually walked by at that time, and she was like, Forza, and I was like, all right, I'm going with that. I guess I haven't played it at all. I haven't played any of those games, and I have my Xbox One sitting there. It's been on for.
Do you have Forza Horizon 3? Yeah,
Nope.
You need to get that because then we can play together.
Yeah.
Actually, you could get it on PC now.
And I really don't understand what's up with the whole Forza. Why is it?
How do you say pizza?
Oh, that's a good.
There you go.
Pizza.
Pizza. Forza pizza. Forza pizza. It's Italian. That's how you say it. It was a big thing on Kind of Funny Games because Greg was like, "It's not Forza, it's Forza," and Andrea Renee was like, "How do you say pizza?" And then he was just like, "Oh, boom!" Just could not figure it out. So
that's quickly solved that.
I know. I had that ready in my back pocket. And knew since the moment I saw the word, I'm like, he's gonna try to fight this. Actually, I didn't think that. Best strategy game: XCOM 2, War of the Chosen, Tooth and Tail, Total War, Warhammer 2, Halo Wars, and then Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which got my vote.
Me too.
Don't say Koppai is not a Nintendo show at heart, because we're getting over Halo and Total War and XCOM. We're like, Mario plus
There's
Rabbids.
still so much left in Mario plus Rabbids for me to go do, and then I keep hearing like even the post game going back and getting everything like perfect is super challenging.
It is, because I've been doing that like as I play.
Oh yeah.
I think I've only done like World 1 with it, but like I didn't go on the World 2 until I've 100% of World 1, and I've already gone back to the challenges, and it's like, my goodness, like, you gotta know the strategies. There's one challenge that you had to do where you literally had to let the enemy like hit you so you could bounce back and like hit against a certain thing to like get to the right area to attack the way you needed to attack. And like, so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? And then they hit me accidentally, and I'm like, oh, that's the only way you can get knocked over there. And it's Mario. The Rabbids are creative. The music, Grant Kirkhope did awesome. It's an awesome strategy game, and perfect on the Switch because it's just going to be a never-ending game now to have on the platform. XCOM I hear is amazing, and it borrows, or Mario plus Rabbids borrows a lot from XCOM, and I don't really know. I did play Halo Wars 2 at Target on the demo Xbox they had, and it looked really fun.
Yeah, I bet that's fun. I just haven't gotten into it. I think I'd probably enjoy it if I played it. I just can't really make it into my consideration because of that.
Best family game: Splatoon 2, Sonic Mania, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and then Super Mario Odyssey, which, honestly, any of these could win. If you have a family and you guys all play games together, you need to have all of these owned.
I gave it to Mario Kart.
Oh, really? I gave it to Odyssey because it's just like, I guess... I actually don't know if I did give it to Odyssey. I feel like I would because it's just Odyssey is the best game of all of these.
Yeah.
But when it comes to family, Mario Kart's probably...
Yeah, I gave it to that because Odyssey I consider just to be like a single player experience, kind of limiting in the like getting all the family involved. Whereas with Mario Kart, I mean everybody can play in the race pretty much. I mean unless you have like 5 people, I don't know how many. I mean it depends. If you get past 4, it's like you have to get more switches involved and all that sort of complicatedness. So I mean, I just think that
with one Switch though, you can do 4 people. With like Splatoon, you need multiple Switches. My wife hates that we can't play together. Yeah. Sonic Mania, like sure you can play as Tails.
Well, it's like I think of the only game like on the Switch really that's nominated that I play with like Kayla, and then I play with like Dad maybe on the spot or Mom, or can take over there. Just anybody in the family. It's like Mario Kart. You always just detach.
Or 1-2 Switch. Shout out to 1-2 Switch.
That's true because
best family game.
We were just playing that yesterday actually. We had a little downtime after lunch. I plugged in 1-2 Switch into the Switch, and when it's like doing some quick draw and some like treasure chests, it's like, and I commented, I'm like, this game only comes out during times like this when it's like after a Thanksgiving meal. It's like the one time a year.
Yeah, no, but it's perfect for that. I want to sell it and get it digitally. Yeah. Or I'm considering keeping it just as my one physical game I ever have on the Switch. It's just always in the cartridge. Yeah, moving on. Best fighting game: Tekken 7, Nidhogg 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Injustice 2, and then ARMS. I think I gave my vote to ARMS because it's the only game I've played of these fighting games. I did play Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and it actually was a really fun fighter. But I hear there's kind of lots of unpolished corners with that. The campaign's kind of crap. I hear Injustice 2 is amazing. I think that's probably going to be the winner out of all of them, just because the animation and the fighting and the characters have been awesome with that. But I had to give it to ARMS, just as a shout out to ARMS, and just hoping it could win. Confirm your vote, yeah.
Yeah, I voted for ARMS.
I just gave it another vote too.
Like let's give support to ARMS. It's unfortunate I hear that it's like the lobby is really dead. Like it takes sometimes over an hour to get linked up with somebody. It's like so pathetically bad now, and that really makes me sad because I've wanted to get back into it. I hear the new achievement system sort of thing they have, and the awards and badges or whatever it is, and unlocking all the things it makes it more incentivizing to go in there. But I heard something about like somebody posted their picture and it was so sad of like their little icon and like an empty lobby and like I've been waiting for a long time.
3 days now. 2 days straight starts to take a toll on you. Yeah. They just released that new fighter that's like kind of like a Samoan or something, I don't know, and looked really cool. And I mean they actually were just talking about it on Nintendo Voice Chat about like how there's like, just so many hundreds of ARMS to collect and how it's just so cool to get different combinations. And I think the only reason the guy was talking about it on Nintendo Voice Chat was because he does the wiki for it. So he was like, I just unlocked some new ARMS for the wiki, and it's like, everyone's like, cool, man. Like, yeah, we don't play it anymore. Like, everyone on the Nintendo show doesn't play it. But it's just, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was an awesome game, and we definitely loved playing it. Pro Controller was awesome, felt great.
Yeah.
Was it good, just kind of, I mean, I don't know, that would be another game that I feel like would just be a fun game to like live stream. When like you and I playing together, doing one-on-ones, people hop in the chat, and it's just like, you're just kind of hanging out. But there's not many situations where I'm like, let's sit down for the evening, man, and just play some ARMS. Like, I'd rather sit and do a long PUBG or, 1v1 Civ or Destiny 2, like, where you can just do so much.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, I think that was one of the major complaints with it, is that it just got drowned out by, Nintendo Switch kind of got on a roll where at first it was kind of like, all right, like, what games we have to anticipate? Oh, ARMS is coming out. And then it just took off to where it was like, all right, now we can't even keep up, and ARMS just kind of got pushed to the side, and we moved on to Splatoon 2, and that was, way better. It has way more established, support and fans.
Yeah, it's a bummer you couldn't have made your own fighter. I guess there is some appeal kind of in the Overwatch style of it. You have your own fighter, but no lobby to wander around in like Splatoon has. No single player campaign besides just fighting again and again and again.
Super lightweight.
Lightweight fighter, as they say. But had my vote, so I guess it doesn't matter. Best role playing game, you have South Park: The Fractured Butthole, Final Fantasy 15, Divinity: Original Sin 2, Nier Automata, and Persona 5. Now, I feel like we're going to get torn apart for this, but I think we gave our votes to The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah.
Because, quality combat, hilarious writing, very good visual aesthetic with the South Park style. Loved creating my new kid. He looks like Thor from Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. And he has a lightning-powered fart. I think they actually called him Thunder Fart once, and it was, perfect because I had my Thor outfit on. It just was immersed in that world, and I need to go back and beat it.
Me too.
I kind of got, because I think we both did the fight against, slight spoilers against Captain Chaos, or Professor Chaos.
Right.
And it kind of felt like a season ending almost, or a chapter ending, so I feel like if I were to go back into it, it'd be like, alright, last season you defeated Professor Chaos, moving onwards, gotta go find the one guy, so... that got my vote, but
I guess it all came down to I can't comment on as to the quality or anything of the other ones. I haven't played any of them.
I hear Persona 5. It's on sale for Black Friday weekend for I think $30, which I hear.
I would love that to come out on the Switch or something.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's PlayStation exclusive, right?
I think so.
I think it's PS3.
Some deal with Sony. Yeah.
Yeah, but they've had Persona games on Nintendo consoles
before. The Switch is getting the new Shin. I don't know how you pronounce it. Shin Megami Tensei, whatever.
Megami Tensei.
And it's getting that, and I guess that's the parent series of Persona.
Yeah, yeah. We had Fire Emblem Cross, basically Persona was what people were calling it, and I hear Nier Automata is Game of the Year contender for a lot of people. But yeah, Persona 5. I played Persona 4 Golden on the Vita and never really got too into it, but I hear Persona 5 is someone commented on a forum, they're like, that's the most stylish game you'll play, when I was asking if I should get it on sale, and I replied with a little gif of Glover from the N64, and I'm like, excuse me? Because Glover is definitely the most stylish game, but Persona 5 may take it. We're getting to the heavy hitters now, though. Best Action Adventure Game, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Assassin's Creed Origins, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn. And I think I gave my vote to Horizon Zero Dawn for Action Adventure, because the adventure of that game was the best. It was awesome. I think there was a few other categories that I really wanted to give Horizon the winner. But I couldn't because Mario had to win Game of the Year and all that. But yeah, I think this is where I gave Horizon its chance to shine with Best Action Adventure.
And I think I gave it to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I could see that. I think Breath of the Wild, and maybe we'll get to this a little bit later with Game of the Year discussion and some other Best Action Game or something. I'm not too sure where else they pop up competing against each other.
Yeah.
But Horizon, I think, does enemy design way better because the robot dinosaurs are way more fascinating than goblins. The world definitely looks better because it's Horizon, and the story compared to Zelda is just drastically better because Zelda doesn't really have a story. It's the 12 memories you can go uncover. and some generic lines for the Divine Beast to kind of set you up into that world. But nothing, I mean, you don't talk about Zelda and be like, that riveting story just pulled me in. There's a few cool beats. Like one moment where I think I shed a tear, where I was like, that was a beautiful little moment.
Yeah.
But the rest of Zelda is about the exploration and stuff. And so...
Well, I do feel like it really feels like you're going on an adventure with Zelda.
Yeah.
Especially Breath of the Wild felt like an adventure, and it feels like an adventure for me that's still continuing because I haven't finished my main file, I haven't done any master mode that's still coming out with, you know, the DLC, which I know Horizon is. With Horizon, I just haven't played it. So I know there's a kind of...
I can't wait for that day you play Horizon.
Yeah, it's gonna be
and you beat it and you message me like, I just beat it, and I'm just gonna be like, welcome home. You played the game of the year, because it's just, Horizon. Horizon is literally like... I joined the Horizon subreddit just to ask everyone, is there any other game like this? Like, Horizon was just, will forever be a game that if anyone ever asks, like even more so than The Last of Us, if anyone ever asks, is there a game that you wish you could forget so you could replay it as if it was the first time, I would 100% choose Horizon, because it was such a ride.
Yeah.
Best action game, we have Prey, Neo, Destiny 2, Cuphead, and Wolfenstein 2. I honestly don't know where I gave this to. I think I probably gave it to Destiny 2 because Destiny 2 is kind of like one of my top contenders for Game of the Year. Otherwise, it may have been Cuphead because Cuphead's Cuphead. I need to play Wolfenstein desperately. Like I hear Wolfenstein. It looks amazing, sounds amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love what Bethesda does, like with their game Prey too, but Wolfenstein even more so than Prey. Just seems to have just rocked everyone. The trailers looked amazing.
I want to play that. I want to finish the first one before I get to that, because I know it's kind of that sequel thing. We've talked about it before, I think, on the show. For that category, I think I may have given it to Cuphead, because I think it's just all the sweep argument that I want to win in the category, and on top of it, I mean, it's a really intense action game. So it's got genuine good boss fights, and the combat's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty basic, but there's a lot of different power ups you can get, and a lot of it revolves around the combat and the action of it. So
Moving on, best VR/augmented reality game. So virtual reality or augmented reality. Super Hot VR, Star Trek Bridge Crew, Lone Echo / Echo Arena, Farpoint, and then Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which wins it. I think for us, I think we'll win overall. However, shout out to Skyrim VR, which if it was in the running for the nominees, Skyrim VR would take the cake.
Yeah.
And I think it is one of the definitive VR experiences. We had our entire episode last week, episode 79, is completely dedicated to our Skyrim VR impressions, and I think it's isn't it an hour long is what we did? An hour so long? Yeah, so it's pretty meaty. And we get into the whole impressions of Bleak Fall Barrows and stuff, so...
I would maybe, I don't know, taking that into consideration about if Skyrim versus Resident Evil, I just still might consider Resident Evil the winner. Just because, for one, it's one of those games that carried VR throughout the whole year. Everybody, people bought VR units throughout the entire year because of that game, and the reception, all the positive, people telling, go get this game. Resident Evil 7 on VR is just next level. Greg Miller on Kind of Funny, they're all, trying to experience it using the VR. I think it really helped sell it, which now Skyrim is really doing a lot like none other. So it's really tough. The only thing with Resident Evil 7 beyond that is that it was so custom built, it felt, for VR. So much of it is... the experience is made to get right up in your face and all these things where it's happening to you and you feel immersed in that, and some of the graphics that they can push a little bit further because of the limited space and the things that they're doing. It's there's a realism there, there's the grittiness, the art direction, everything is really built for this kind of a perfect VR experience, it feels like horror genre is probably going to be an amazing VR genre.
Yeah.
And same with
the best parts of Skyrim VR are those moments where you're scared.
Yeah, definitely.
And in a dark corridor and you just want it's just something about it just feels good to be scared. Which normally I'm not a horror guy, but just something about VR, just putting yourself in those situations that you would normally never ever be in.
Yeah.
It's just fun. So VR is awesome. I think because I just hopped on it at the end of this year, and I got my Move ones.
Oh,
Shout out to GameStop for Black Friday deals. Finally got my Move controllers, and someone scraped off the serial number on one of them. I don't understand, but they had a 2-for-1 deal. I got 2 Move controllers and an Xbox One controller, all red, GameStop exclusive, for $60 total. Which normally 2 Move controllers alone are $100, and that red controller off of Amazon was $80. So I saved buckets of money, which is nice. Moving right along, best handheld game, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, which is not a handheld game, guys. It's a Wii U game that was ported to the 3DS. Can't be nominated. Actually, it can. It is a handheld game.
And it's got Poochie in there.
And they added Poochie, which I had the amiibo. I think I own the game, too. Monster Hunter Stories, Metroid Samus Returns, Ever Oasis, and Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia. I gave my vote to Metroid Samus Returns. What I played of it was fluid, beautiful, awesome, great. It's Metroid. It deserves the attention, so Nintendo knows.
Yeah.
We love Metroid. Even though we don't need to tell them as much anymore with Metroid Prime coming out, it's still important to let them know that we love the series.
Give it support.
I want Reggie to go up on stage and accept the award and be like, here at Nintendo, we love Metroid. And have a little Metroid pin. Would be fitting, actually, because he kind of teased Metroid years ago at the Game Awards with that little Metroid pin when he was announcing Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, I think. So, yeah. Best mobile game, Fire Emblem Heroes, Super Mario Run, Old Man's Journey, Monument Valley 2, and Hidden Folks. I gave my vote to Fire Emblem Heroes.
Me too.
Because Super Mario Run was fun, awesome, $10 flat rate, but ran dry the moment you beat all the worlds. I didn't really have a lot of fun with Toad Rally. Fire Emblem Heroes, I literally played today, and I've been playing almost daily since launch. I just got one of the 5-star heroes, some lady, I'm not too sure. And I've not got Takumi, and I did get Chrom as a 4-star, I think. But I mean, that's a game that I want to collect every hero. I want to get them all to 5. They added a catalog of heroes where now you can view all the heroes you have, and if you get them to 5-star ranking and level them up to 40, it outlines them in like a special border, so you can eventually screenshot your catalog of heroes that has all of your heroes all maxed out level, which is my ultimate goal.
Wow.
But I haven't spent a dime on the game. I've been unlocking heroes at a steady rate, and it's just been awesome. And it's an awesome strategy game too.
Yeah, it's complex, it's deep.
It's super deep.
I mean, it's challenging. It's huge. Like, there's so much to do in it. The story's lengthy. They keep adding stuff to it. There's just always stuff to do. So I felt like that's just a game that keeps giving and giving and giving, so it deserves it.
And they add so many updates to it because it's making them just buckets of money. They're probably just so bummed. It's making money hand over fist. Best ongoing game, which Jeff Keighley described as a game that, like he said, with games and at award shows, we don't really have games that, with award shows, we have the Emmys where you can nominate an ongoing TV series. So Mad Men may not win one year, but it can win the next year. But with games, we never really had a category for something like that, even though games have kind of become TV series in a sense of continuous seasons, updates, etc. And so best ongoing game was supposed to kind of encapsulate that a game that may have come out in 2013, but now is way better. And one of the best examples of that I hear is, number one, Warframe, which I really want to check out because I hear that game is drastically different than when it launched. You have Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, Grand Theft Auto Online, Destiny 2, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which I gave my vote to, I think, Grand Theft Auto Online, but if they would have put Destiny 1 in here, that would have won my vote by a long shot, because in April they had the Age of Triumph, where they added all of their old raids, updated the light level to all of them, added new gear to all of them, new guns to all of them. They also added all these achievements and awards and record books that you could use to earn a real world t-shirt, all in April this year, and had it continue with special events up until the launch of Destiny 2. It was an awesome way to go out and made the game the best it's ever been, and Destiny 2 hasn't had that quite yet. So that's why I gave mine to Grand Theft Auto Online, because they added the cunning stunts, the transform races, the continuous updates, free updates. I figured it's just been one of those games if Grand Theft Auto 5 got its award for its story years ago, then this is the time for it to get its award for its online component.
Yeah, I was torn between Destiny 2 and this one because of, like you say with Destiny, how well they did that. That was my reasoning for my vote for Destiny 2 was I feel, for one, that it has a lot of content, kind of like what you argued earlier for best multiplayer game, how like much more it has to offer beyond PUBG. I felt like it has so much there, and then so much they can expand on.
Yeah,
we already see the first DLC coming out, like that looks
awesome.
And so I just felt like if they do the same thing they did with Destiny 1, which I feel they will do, or they'll take it even further.
They can't. They have the groundwork to take it further.
Yeah, so this will be the best online ongoing game. That's what I felt.
I can't wait. Yeah, they've started a foundation that's way better than Destiny 1's foundation. This one, games for impact, so games that you would assume kind of, make a change in the world. Please knock on my door, Night in the Woods, Life is Strange, Bury Me, My Love, What Remains of Edith Finch, and then Hellblade. All these games, like Hellblade I know deals with mental health, Life is Strange kind of deals, I think, with like teenage angst, I'm not too sure. So games that kind of impact in that way. I may have given my vote to Life is Strange because of what I've heard of it.
I think I skipped that one.
Yeah. Best performance, you have Melinda Juergens for Hellblade, Laura Bailey for Uncharted The Lost Legacy as Nadine, Claudia Black in Uncharted The Lost Legacy as Chloe Fraser, Brian Bloom as BJ Malkovich in Wolfenstein 2, and Ashley Birch as Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. I gave my vote to Aloy, Ashley Birch, for Horizon because not only did I love Horizon, but Aloy was an awesome character. And I watched some interviews actually with Ashley Birch, and she really explained the design of Aloy really well. So that's what I gave my vote to.
I think I skipped that one too.
It's all good. Best audio design, Destiny 2, Hellblade, Resident Evil, Breath of the Wild, and Super Mario Odyssey. I saw, shout out to Tim Geddes. I think he was laughing at Breath of the Wild for audio design, which I thought was absurd. Like, that game has awesome audio.
That's what I gave my vote to.
Oh, really? Yeah, he was like, who thinks of that for audio design? It's like, there's no music in that game. The best point of it is the audio design.
Exactly.
I gave my vote to Destiny 2 because when you play that, you hear the guns and the explosions of someone's super, like, that was one of the first things I think everyone noticed when they played the Destiny 2 beta was like, the sounds are so good. I watched a video documentary, it was like 30 minutes long, on how they capture the sounds. Like, they go out to fields and shoot real guns and then add in, like, someone shaking metal to make it so it's just like all warbly. It's like some Breaking Bad level, Dave Porter level of stuff. But yeah, Breath of the Wild, like, just getting lost in that world and hearing the sounds of the forest.
I felt that it was like a movie soundtrack in terms of, it was like a soundscape that wasn't necessarily, just melodic, here's a tune that's going to play in the background. It was flowing in and out of what you were doing. As you rode a horse, it would start to do kind of horsey things with the pianos. And, it fades seamlessly in and out. And you'd go to a village, and suddenly it just kind of come in, a new, like, melody would fade in. Then you'd go over, stand near someone, and then the melody would shift a little bit to whoever, depending on...
But you never notice. Like,
right.
You never, never notice in such an abrupt way, like, oh, now I'm in this spot, it's
the
always...
little subtle sounds to, like, alert you to things, and just, everything was charming and felt right, felt good, and just, it was all just really well done. And so, yeah, I felt like I wasn't even a huge fan necessarily of the sound, like, I wouldn't just, like, listen to the Breath of the Wild soundtrack, but in terms of the atmosphere that the sound
immersion
was able to provide was really awesome.
Some of those games, and, like, Super Mario Odyssey is another one where I cannot play it with, like, a podcast playing. Like, I gotta, like, Mario Odyssey I have played, and I've, like, unplugged the podcast just so I can listen to the game, because just the music and sound is so good. But yeah, Destiny 2 I gave my vote to, because the gun sounds, like, especially when you get to exotic guns and they have, like, completely unique sounds, and it's just awesome. I need to go into the game sometime and just turn off the music and just crank the sound, and so I can hear that. Speaking of sound, though, we have best score in music with Destiny 2 once again, Cuphead, Nier Automata, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Persona 5. I'm pretty sure I gave my vote this time to Super Mario Odyssey because, when you get into, the Wooded Kingdom, and that music starts playing, and Jump Superstar, and some of the nostalgic notes and tunes and stuff that they have in there, it's just... There's That's a soundtrack I actually listened to. Like.
Well, when they had that first trailer where it's the Cascade Kingdom theme, they used it in that first trailer where Mario jumps out in Metro Kingdom and is running around. It's like they're using that Cascade theme. That song was stuck in my head. I looked up like the orchestral like recreations of it, like when it wasn't even officially out yet. I was listening to that song. It was stuck in my head. When Jump Up Superstar came out, that song, like I just sang to myself for months until that game came out. That it was like a really effective marketing. I kept thinking like that. It's just got it going in my head.
And by the time you get to that point in the game where they play this song, you're just like crying and bawling, and you're just playing through the level. It's just such a magical moment. Like they just.
And then, I mean, they even made it part of like the moons of the Toad, like asking you what song, and you kind of revisit, and then you can go and choose your own song to listen to as you play different levels if you want. There's so much around the music, and Mario's always been like, I was just watching a video about Mario and the underwater music and how Koji Kondo kind of really invented a lot.
Or even the fact that each song in the game has an 8-bit version. Like, how many times do you Google like 8-bit version of Uncharted theme song? Because like it's just something cool about listening to it. And they're like, no, we're gonna do that for you. Like if you go into a pipe, it plays that song 8-bit no matter what, and it's just like. Yeah,
it's just that seamless transition, like when people go underwater, it's like banjo and stuff, where it would seamlessly transition to that underwater.
Yeah, it just it has that kind of extra reverb and different instruments playing. Yeah, it's just had to give it to that. Best art direction, we have Destiny 2, which Destiny 2 was nominated for a ton.
Yeah.
Destiny 2, Cuphead, Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn. I gave my vote to Cuphead because, as far as art direction goes, like sure. You know, Horizon probably looks the best of all of these, and Persona 5 has, like, a lot of style, but that just unique, almost never before seen art direction of Cuphead.
Yeah, I regret not giving it to Cuphead. I agree with you. I think
what did you give it to?
I gave it to Horizon, because I know that Horizon... Like, I loved the art direction ever since I first saw Horizon.
The robot dinosaurs.
The robot dinosaurs, and just the world, like, was so beautiful, and the technology, kind of like the merging
melding with all that,
the buildings that have been overrun. I just really love that art direction they went.
And the photo mode is gorgeous.
I do think Cuphead, like, I love that style so much, too. I almost had the same exact, or did have the same exact reaction to that game when I saw it, where I was like, you know, this... It's all amazing. It just really appeals to the style I like, and so it's tough between those two. But I think I gave it to Horizon for this one a lot, partially because I wanted to at least represent Horizon, give it some support and something, because I haven't played it yet, but I've been wanting to for so long, and it's always been a game that I really had a lot of, like, I wanted to. I wasn't able to get it because Breath of the Wild came out, like, right with it. I couldn't afford it back earlier in the year, and it just never really worked out, but it's been like, I can't wait to eventually get to it.
Yeah, well, so you're going to be spoiled, because you're going to get, when you get it, you're going to get the complete edition, most likely, and the bummer part about the complete edition is, like, it can't be a sequel to the game, so from what I hear, the DLC is kind of like a side story to the main campaign, and you can just play it like almost right off the bat. Like whenever you want to get started with it, you can just go start this kind of side venture. And so I'm excited to play it, but I kind of like I want more. Like I want to know beyond the story, like what happens. And so you're just gonna be able to experience it together all at once. You know, probably how it's kind of meant to be played almost. And so I'm jealous of that. But yeah, speaking of of Horizon, best narrative. You have Horizon Zero Dawn nominated, as well as What Remains of Edith Finch, Nier Automata, Hellblade, and Wolfenstein 2. Horizon Zero Dawn took my vote by a long shot. Best narrative I think I've ever played. Awesome game. So, yeah, I don't know. Did you have any other votes for that?
I don't know if I even voted for this category because...
Yeah, I don't know if you got too deep in any of those games. Or...
Yeah, I don't think I did.
Yeah. All right, well... Best game direction, which was kind of taking a game, like usually I think a sequel, into a new direction. You have Wolfenstein 2, Resident Evil 7, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn I almost gave it to because of what they did with Killzone before and how this is just drastically different. But I had to give it to Breath of the Wild because completely changed the direction of a franchise with Zelda, which we know and love. And is now the standard for Zelda.
Yeah.
Way more like Odyssey was more of a return to roots, and I can't speak much to Wolfenstein, or like I imagine Wolfenstein isn't like a drastically new direction, and Resident Evil still builds on that horror. Granted VR adds a lot to it, but Breath of the Wild it changed Zelda, which is like almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
And then I do think though, if you're I guess they do include Guerrilla Games here and Sony Active Entertainment. If you're including that, Horizon is a definite contender because they went from a first-person shooter to a narrative-driven open world exploration through a third-person game, which is pretty insane. But I had to give it to Zelda. And then, were you gonna say anything?
I gave it to Zelda as well. This was kind of, slight spoilers. It was in consideration with my Game of the Year choice. So my Game of the Year choice, in my vote.
Here, final category to talk about. We're here.
Okay.
Game of the Year.
We'll get it all.
Game of the Year nominees from the Game Awards: The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which has tons of controversy, Persona 5, and then Horizon Zero Dawn. And you gave your vote to...
I gave it to Mario Odyssey.
You gave it to Super Mario Odyssey. I did as well. People will be shocked to hear it wasn't between Mario and Zelda. Mine was between Mario and Horizon.
Yeah.
Because I thought Horizon on almost every other level besides the pure magic of Zelda was better than Zelda. Mm-hmm. Zelda just had that magic though. I was trying to get past that, trying to just shake the spell off, and then Horizon would have had it. But then Mario, up until Mario came out, Horizon would have had it, and I was kind of proud to say that. I want Horizon to win over Zelda. People were like, you crazy. And then Mario came along, and I'm like, okay, nothing, you can't get better. The music's the best, the graphics are the best, as far as art style goes. The gameplay is the best, the collectibles are the best, the replayability is the best, the portability is the best. That's the thing, that the biggest part about Horizon is there's nothing in that game, not even go back and hunt and build up a high score or something. There's nothing in that game to go on and do. It's a packed game. You'll get 50 to 100 hours out of it if you want to get the platinum. But once you do that, if you obsessively play, it's kind of done. Where Mario, I can't imagine myself beating it anytime soon. Mm-hmm.
There's so much content in it. It's got the charm and we were kind of talking about when it returned. I don't know exactly which episode, but we were comparing it to Breath of the Wild. We're getting kind of early Game of the Year discussion going on and talking about how Mario takes a lot of the puzzles and elements from Zelda, and a lot of the gameplay is so solid.
Or even just the Korok seeds, as a comparison. Collecting a moon is way more fun than finding a Korok seed. The Korok seed is usually pretty simple, and it's on the top of a hill. Sometimes they're kind of more chory than fun, and but Mario makes them is about as equivalent as far as collectibles and puzzles go, but just way more engaging and unique. And
it's one of the games that I think I'm going to be picking up and playing more throughout the future than I did necessarily Zelda. There's a lot of aspects to it where I'm I don't really feel like replaying those bosses again in Zelda. But there's always the aspect of Mario where one day I would totally start a new file and play through. It's like Mario 64 I played through a million times. Mm-hmm. And Sunshine I've never actually got to the very end of it, but I've played through 2/3 of it a million times. And beat Galaxy, I need to beat Galaxy 2, which I'm kind of excited to go after this. But just Mario is just always you can always play it, no matter what. I think, and it's always nice to kind of leave a few things left so you can always pick it up and have a few things to do. So, you can choose when to finish it, and take your own time with it. It's just I don't know. Zelda, I feel like I will get through it, and then it'll be that was awesome. Now let's move on, wait for the next Zelda, or just go play a different Zelda.
I'm excited with Champion's Battle will probably be my... Let's get back to the Zelda.
But when that's done, when Zelda's done, I just feel like Mario will live on into the future. I feel like I got so much joy out of it. The music was stuck in my head for months and months. Mm-hmm. It's I don't know. The excitement for it, I feel like Zelda was mixed with the Switch hype, and so it kind of was it was hard. I feel Zelda deserves the Game of the Year title in terms of when you think of what held the year, sort of that category. Which I considered for most of the other...
Although Mario did, I mean, from the get-go, people were like, I'm going to pick up the Switch and get Zelda.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
But I'm getting it for that inevitable Mario.
Yeah.
Like, Mario, or there's this people out there, like even some commenters on the show that are like, I'm waiting for Mario, you know?
Yeah,
and like, Zelda was a good holdover, but wait till Mario comes. Yeah, I echo the same things. I mean, Mario does music better, does the graphics better, does every systematic category better, and then even changing the way we kind of, have Mario, like the fact that you can change his outfit, like that was a small touch that actually was kind of addictive to get new outfits for him, and the photo mode, like, Zelda didn't have a photo mode, like, it's just, it does that way better, and before we get out the show, obviously Mario gets our vote, but really, if you can, go play Horizon, like, that, I can't echo that enough with all these awards, like, that is my second place for Game of the Year. Number one, PlayStation game. And so if you don't have a Switch and you're like, if you have a PlayStation and you don't have a Switch, go play Horizon.
Yeah.
And it's $20.
Yeah.
Until Tuesday. So until tomorrow.
Good deal.
You have $20, and then it'll be on sale with the complete edition when that comes out. So.
And I think it's so close to being a tie between Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey that it's such a tough choice that I kind of went best. I think that Breath of the Wild took it in terms of moving forward in the future of games, changing open world games, setting a new bar for what you can do in terms of trying to evolve your series and try to take it to the next level and do something new and innovative. And I think Mario did that in some ways, but in many ways it didn't do things as innovatively crazy, but it made me I had more fun with it, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just more of like a fun happiness. Like,
look at like playtime hours. Like, I think I'm only at like 40 hours into Mario, like, and Zelda was 150 within like a week. But it's just, it was just, that a lot of the reasons was because there's just so many times spent walking in Zelda, where Mario, there's rarely a moment where you're just kind of walking to one point to the other. You're just jumping, teleporting, waving over here. And
they're just such good complementary games to each other. It's just been such a great year for video games.
Honestly, I can't speak to, I think the other nominee was Persona 5, but PUBG, I don't think PUBG should win because not even the whole early access argument that people have been having, like, should an early access game be nominated? Like, a game's a game. But PUBG is so glitchy, and it's one map, and the graphics sometimes are a little weird, and it's just like that you don't memorize the music. Like, sure, on the pure gameplay idea perspective, like, it's a very good Game of the Year contender, but so I wouldn't be surprised if it did win, or I wouldn't be like upset. But then the other games, like Horizon, I think it was like I forget the other ones. Like, Horizon is a definite contender. Yeah, PUBG, Breath of the Wild, Persona, like all those games are completely worthy. Like, if any of them wins, I won't be like upset. Or I think there was like one year where I'm like, it has to be this game. Like, there's no other way. Yeah. And I'll give kudos to anyone. I think of all of them though, I think the lowest would be PUBG. But then there's no denying that it's a global phenomenon. That's just like the number one concurrent players on Steam. So it just depends on really how you classify Game of the Year, but we give it to Mario. Koppai approved Game of the Year, unanimous decision.
The design of Mario is just, I think, top class. It deserves it. I was just thinking a little bit more about, comparing the design of Mario versus Zelda, and I just do think that Mario
now we need
comes
Mario
out on top there.
Battle Royale.
You've got so much. When you go into that game,
100 codes.
Like, you don't get drowned. Like right now in Zelda, there's things I could do. I could leave the little tower I'm supposed to, but if I want to move on in that game, I have to get through this place I'm kind of stuck at because it's been so long since I've even played it. I'm like, what am I even doing anymore? Yeah. Whereas Mario, you go in there and it's like, all right, I'm going to go to a different kingdom now and just get some moves here. And then it's like, oh, if you're stuck here, I'm going to go here and do some stuff. And then it's like, there's always a different route you can take and something else you can get done, which I feel like really progresses you in the game. Instead of just going like find a Korok seed because you're so stuck in this puzzle, it's like you can't even progress. I feel like Mario just nails the design and in such a compact way. We're talking about
the kingdom was a great way to go about it, and it's perfect. It's awesome. Amazing. All of them are good. Golden Age of gaming. And 2018, I mean, we have Last of Us Part 2, Spider-Man, God of War, Red Dead Redemption, Fire Emblem, Metroid Prime coming out soon, like...
Pokemon.
Pokemon on a Switch HD console. I mean, we got more and more stuff coming. We'll be back in 2018 with more Koppai Gaming. We're hoping I'm going to be moving actually to a place where I'm going to get kind of my own gaming studio. So hoping for more live streams or more content in that regard. Zach now has a pretty high-end PC, and we're kind of expanding beyond Nintendo. So maybe you can be publishing some like either content in that regard. Or, maybe not, but I mean, we have options available to us. We're able to do more than ever by expanding Koppai, and I'm excited to show off the new branding because we have a pretty cool new logo we're playing with, and, some new ways to present that, and even trying things beyond YouTube. Like, YouTube's kind of been our platform, but trying out Facebook video and Twitch, and, doing more stuff on Twitter, and, maybe doing it in such a way that it's more streamlined so it's not just trying to push out our YouTube content. So if you know us here on YouTube, be sure to check us out on the other platforms. Everything as Koppai Gaming. But until 2018, until next time, go! I think, honestly, the entire time, I think it was supposed to be facing this way.
I wondered that.
Because this is where the logo is. So it's probably like picking up our echo off of that the whole time. I wonder if this sounds better. We'll know at the end of the show.
At the very end.
Yeah. Hey, guys. We have the microphone turned the wrong way.
I'm Link. All right.
Wait, Ollie, say hi to the camera. That was... that was such a terrible scream. Oh, man. All right. See you guys in 2018. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And God bless everyone.
Christmas time.